How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. All right, so now we're gonna dive into the numbers of Fantastic Four number five. First, Doctor Doom. He's basically arguably one of the best villains in the Marvel universe, and definitely the nemesis, arch nemesis of the Fantastic Four, especially Reed Richards. Um, yeah, it's by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, and it's pretty old. It's harder to find older Marvels in high grade copy. A lot of them had what's called Marvel chipping, where they had they would use the blade so much it would dull, and so they would have chips and tears along the outer edge. Also, another kind of thing that's interesting is the Marvel. They didn't want to be like DC and have like Metropolis, which is a fake town, right? They tried to do everything in New York City, or there's a venture where Spider-Man goes to San Diego. They try to have it as real as possible, except for Doctor Doom. He's from Latveria, and that's not real. So that's kind of an interesting little tidbit. But yeah, so this if you can get yourself any grade of this book, any grade, doesn't matter if it's a 1.0 or a 9.8 or whatever it is, get it. This is the type of book that's going to hold its value for a long time and continue to go up over time. So there's no, hey, sometimes I suggest only get this book if it's 8.0 or above or 9.0 above. Those are the more collectible desired grades. So yeah, pretty much any grade you can get. This is gonna do good. It's gonna be a long term investment. It's gonna skyrocket for a while until like they announce a movie with Doctor Doom in it, and then the movie comes out. It's gonna kind of go down a little bit. But if you're looking at like a 10-year span or something like that, this is a great book to have. It's always gonna be climbing. It's climbing a lot right now. This is like the start of it because the Fantastic Four are going to be the MCU, and Doctor Doom's definitely. They've tried so many times to get him right, and they seem to just never can. I'm sure Disney will figure out a way with the MCU. So yeah, let's just dive into the numbers a little bit. All right. Okay, let's look at the numbers of the Fantastic Four, number five. So here we go. So if you're looking at them right now, like this one went down a little bit, but a lot of times it depends on. But if you look at it overall, they're all going up because the movie's coming out. All greens, couple downs. Some of these downs, these little red downs, can be because like there's a difference. Like when you sell something in auction versus when you sell something as a buy it now. Buy it now is basically this is the price I want. Sometimes you can haggle, but generally speaking, that is going to be more expensive. As opposed to an auction, it depends who's looking. So you can have something in auction and it can go pretty cheap or it can go really expensive. So that skews the results. But yeah, generally it's all going up. If you look at, like say, let's look at like a 9.2 for example, right? So you can see going down, going up, then kind of goes down, but then it's been skyrocketing recently. And that's probably because probably right around here, they had like a movie. And so anytime there's any type of hype, because what are comics really is you collect or invest in what you're interested in. So if you're really into the Fantastic Four and a movie's coming out, it gets you hyped up again. You're like, I should get a comic. Or you see, Doctor Doom, and you're like, man, I really want his first appearance. You have the money for it, you buy it. So yeah, so that's anytime there's hype like that, that's what it is because it's based off price is based off of supply and demand. Like say a Batman 1, lots of demand for it because there's lots of people that want it. A Green Llama number 1, which is a Golden Age character, probably never even heard of. No one cares, so no one wants it. So it's you get a few people that'll want it because it's old or whatever, but no one cares. No one knows who Green Llama is anymore, and no one wants him. So yeah, so you see stuff like that. So I'll just jump into this little numbers chart here that I made. So if you're looking at like 2005, let's look at a 4.0, right? Let's look at this column. So if in 2005, you bought the average price for Fantastic Four number 5 was about $600. So like I said, you can get this in any grade, and it's a solid investment. So I mean, even you can go down to a 2.0 or even a 1.0, right? Yeah, I always stay clear of coverless if possible, but if that's all you can afford and you want it for your collection, fine. So if you bought in 2005, bought for $600, 5 years later, average is going to be at $750. So you got yourself a 25% return there. Not anything special. Another 5 years later, and from if you would have bought in 2010, 2015, you got yourself a 60% return. So that's really good. Like anytime you like historically the S&P 500 is about 10% a year. So anytime you can really beat that, that's awesome. Then from 2015, 2018, you got a 200, so 3 years, you got a 200% jump. That's ridiculous. And then from 2018 to the most recent sale, which is earlier this year, so almost 3 years or so, you got yourself a 78% jump. That's still really, really good. If you would have bought it, 15 years ago, in 2005, and sold it now, you'd be making on the $600, you'd be making 10 times that. You'd make $6,000 in profit. 1,000% return. So that's great. Now looking at like a 6.0, 2005, 2010, not much of a jump, 13%. 2010 to 2015, 23% jump. But then from 2015 to 2018, 170. And then next one from 2018 now, you're looking at almost a 40% jump. Overall, less a percentage, and you make about the same in profit. That as you get the higher end, the percentages aren't going to be as high. And the reason why, so if you look all the way down to 9.2, the total percentage from 2005 to 2021 is only 200% jump. And the reason why is because down here, more people can afford it. More people can afford the $600 when it's $600. More people can afford the $6,000 when it's $6,000. When you get up here, even in 2005, you can't really, not very many people could afford 16 grand. And then now when it sells for 72, no one can really afford that. So if you look at the 8.0 back in 2005, 3,700, then it jumps almost 100% 5 years later, which is great, 7,100. But then 5 years later, it drops down. Now, that could be a couple things. The reason why maybe in 2010 it sold for more, a movie was coming out, so the hype was higher. Also, it could be maybe more people bought as a buy it now, so that skewed the price higher. And then actually in this year, in 2015, there's 2 auctions. So when there's auctions, things can go cheap. All right, but then you go to 2018. Look at that. If you would have bought this book 2015, sold 3 years later, you would have had 200% increase. 12 grand. Boom, just like that. Then from there, it jumps again 40%. So this one jumped a total in 15 years or so, 550%. Total of 20 grand if you would have bought it then to there. Jumping in the 9.2 range. As you get higher up, the books get increasingly more rare because there's less graded. The highest grade I think I looked was a 9.6. So 9.2 is third highest grade. They get increasingly rare. And then on top of that, you have to find someone that's willing to pay that much. Like it's easier to find someone to pay $600 or $4,000 than it is for $55,000. Not that many people. Like the higher you go up, the less pool of people to pay. So in 2005, you're looking at 16 grand for a 9.2. 2010, 23. Almost a 50% jump. Awesome. Then from 2010, 2015, there's a drop, which is interesting. There's a drop here. But the other ones, you're going to have more consistency up in the lower grades, depending on the book, obviously. But then from 2015, 2018, you're looking at nearly 150% jump. But that 150% is on 22 grand. So you're making yourself 33,000 just like that in 3 years. 33,000. That's a lot of. That's pretty good. That's like almost some people's like yearly salary, um, especially back in 2015. But then from 2018 to now, you're looking at a 30% jump. So all in all, that's not right. All in all, oops. All in all, you're looking at like a 200% jump. I think this is actually wrong. There we go. Take that back. So you're looking at, sorry. So you're looking at a 350% jump. And if you would have bought it back then to now, $56,000. Boom. So yeah, Fantasy 4-5 is a great book. Now I realize that most of these marketing analysis that I'm doing is on super keys. I'm going to do more on just generic books, right? And in the future to see kind of how that works. I just like looking at like the more expensive stuff too, so people can see the possibility of investing in comics. Yeah, so you can this see the growth over time. If this was, let's see, 2002, you could have gotten a 9.2 for about $9,000 and sold it about, and it's just going to go up from there. It just recently sold for 72. Yeah, it's just crazy. You're looking at like a $60,000 jump. But as you get higher up, it gets more rare, right? There's only 3 at a 9.6 view there, But this is going to be your, where most people can afford is down in here. I mean, even if you look at the low down ones down here, look at like, let's say you picked up yourself a 1.0, all right? They don't have very much results. They don't go back that far. Okay, maybe a 1.5. Let's see if there's anything that's old. Okay, here we go. Lots of 1.5. All right, a 1.5 in 2003, $180. Now they're selling for $3,000. Most recent sale, $3,000, and that was 4 months ago. It's probably more than that. It's probably sell for $3,500, no problem. But yeah, even it's like 2005, pick it up for $200, $200, right? In 2005, I think most of us could probably afford $200, and now you could be selling it for 10 times that. And if you look on eBay and see what's available, there's probably not that many available. There's probably a good amount, but like compared to other stuff, yeah, you're gonna have to pay. Here's a signed copy. It's ridiculously expensive. I don't even think Stan Lee's on there. Nope. Yeah, people want $5,000 for a 1.5. But that's the thing, is a lot of people will want a high price. Doesn't mean they're going to get it. That's not what the market actually is. So a lot of times you have to wait for these to come up in auction, or someone's willing to price it at a fair price. And that's how these records just keep on getting broken, like 5.0, 15, a 9.2. Remember, one sold for 72,000 recently. Now they want 8,300. I mean, it might not be the same one exactly, but it's still a 9.2. So yeah, overall, I think it's a solid investment. You can see over time. Like if you think of it, this is like a company. Like if you saw a company, and like Ford or something like that. Well, I think Ford's probably dipped. But if you look at a company and they have some ups and downs, like some big days go down. But if you look at over the trend over like, 10-year, 20-year period, and you can see it's increasing, why not? Like if this is increasing, and some people think like, oh, how could it increase another 100% from where it is? If the book's at, 70,000 for a 9.2. Oh, you think it's going to be worth 150 in like 5 or 10 years? Yeah, it will be. As long as they keep on cranking out these movies and there's lots of interest in all this kind of stuff, yeah, it will be. Like, I talked to someone and they were on the fence back in the 90s about spending $25,000 on Action Number 1. Now that thing's worth in the millions. Like, you would never have foreseen that. Or even like houses. Like the house I live in was built in 1979, and I think it was, I can't remember, but I think it was like $70,000. Now it's like 500,000, 550 or something like that. Like, but yeah, like you think it's really expensive, but then all of a sudden, because of inflation, especially with like what's going on with all these stimulus packages and everything like that, I think inflation is going to be a lot more than it normally is, which just means your dollar's worth less, which means more things are more expensive. I think that's why a lot of people are putting it in stuff like comic books or like cryptocurrencies and stuff, because they want to hold their value a lot better. So yeah, I mean, even though I went to McDonald's, I barely ever go, but I went. It was more expensive than a sit down restaurant. I'm like, geez. So yeah, cool. If you like this type of stuff, like it, subscribe, comment below. If there's anything you'd want me to do more of an analysis on, and my thought, I guess my final verdict on this is long-term play, good, buy it. Short-term, right now, like within a year or something like that, buy it now because it's going to go up, 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 up more. So if you're looking for like a short-term play, like even 6 months, this thing's it's going to continue to go up until they already announced a movie, but once they have a trailer and stuff. So short-term play, yes, definitely going up. Long-term, yes, definitely going up. So it's good buy. All right, thanks.